Hey everybody, MSOM 601, Lesson 4 recap, coming to you today from Delta Flight 56 something or other from Austin, Texas to Minneapolis, St. Paul. One of the great things about teaching online, I have some of the same advantages that you all do in taking classes online. With Wi-Fi being everywhere in almost every airplane these days, it gives me a chance to grade papers, to do a lot of other things while I am traveling, which I tend to do quite a bit, and so really kind of a great advantage today versus when I used to travel for business many years ago. This week you had three things that you had to do. The first thing was a discussion board that dealt with fact or opinion. Now, I don't know about you, but I have some people who are Facebook friends who like to forward and share what appear to be outlandish stories sometimes. And quite frankly, they are, and when I get them, I'm going, that's not true. Yet I have people who indiscriminately just forward those or share those without any regard to checking facts or seeing if it is valid. Don't do that. I would encourage you to always, particularly coming out of this class, I hope that you're learning some things as it relates to fact versus opinion. And also, I would encourage you, as you watch television, particularly cable TV today, don't believe everything you hear from the talking heads, whether or not you're a Fox News fan or a MSNBC fan or a CNN fan. Quite frankly, opinion is rampant, facts are scarce. And so I would encourage you to develop a real high premium for fact over opinion. That is why, quite frankly, I always encourage students to get used to finding peer-reviewed sources at the CSU Online Library. Now, just because you find them there does not necessarily mean, and just because they're in a peer-reviewed journal doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have bias, that they're totally fact-based. However, the standard is so much higher on those that, if you have to go through a jury of your peers in order to be published, you can make an assumption that it meets a higher standard than simply an editorial in a newspaper or an editorial in a magazine. So that's why I encourage you to, again, develop a real high standard for fact versus opinion, and do that in your writing as well. The second thing this week was a case study, and it was a case study that is actually a true case study that happened last year. My son is an executive team leader for Target stores, and for those of you who work in retail, you know the challenges that happen around Thanksgiving with Black Friday and leading into the Christmas holiday season. Well, my son came to me last year, and he had some key positions that were open, and quite frankly, if you go in understaffed into the Christmas holiday season starting with Black Friday, you could be in trouble. But the challenge that my son had was that some of the candidates that he said, were almost what he was looking for, but not quite what he was looking for. And so he said, given the challenge that I'm faced with from a staffing perspective, should I get the better candidate, or should I hold off for the best candidate? And one of the comments that you saw in one of my posts this week was from an old boss who would always constantly spout, better is the enemy of best. And so one of the truths that you read in some of the readings this week focused on that as well. So I hope that you had some great application in that, and perhaps it's something that you can talk about and learn from in your own personal experience in management. And then finally, week 4 is always a tough one, and it's tough because this is the first week that you submit any work on your course project outside the course outline that you had in week 1. And so I'm going to take a lot of time, so it'll take a little bit longer for me to grade this week because I go through those and look at form, I look at flow, obviously I look at content to make sure that you're covering all the topics that and all the questions that I had asked in that. But there's some really key points in the first part of Omni's story, and it's really about thinking styles. And one of the things that I hope you found as you were doing your research on Omni's story is that There are many, many different thinking styles that the key people in this story had, and one isn't better than the other. However, it took all of those people with those thinking styles to come together to help solve that problem. And so you'll also notice there were many different problems that are there that required those different skills. So I will be grading those over the next few days. Be patient with me as I go through those. So I hope that you have a great week. And as you can tell, I wasn't kidnapped by a rabid cowboy fan. For those of you who saw the video recap from lesson 4. So have a great week, and I will talk to you soon from somewhere else in the United States. Have a great week.